Hey guys, it's Jess from Peace Out Books, and today I'm here with a more informative video on how I have been able to work with publishers. So I know I've had a lot of questions about this throughout the years, and it's pretty common to wonder how people get in with publishers. I mean, you see a lot of booktubers talking about how they're having a paid promotion with a publisher, how they had free books from a publisher, and I myself do get a lot of free books from publishers. It may seem like a lot, but to me it's not really a lot. I only really work with two main publishers, and that is with Penguin. I used to get a lot of Penguin's YA books back when I was doing a lot more YA. I mainly work with Berkley because I am on their blogger list, and so I will occasionally get some Penguin YA too, and so that's all Random House. I also recently have been getting things from Harper, and so that is good. I'm going to explain all of that later on how I got into those two publishers. I will say Simon & Schuster, I don't know how to get in with them. I have been in love with Simon & Schuster's YA books since I started blogging, and Colleen Hoover publishes with Atria, who is a branch of Simon & Schuster, and I still have never been able to get paperback arcs from them. I will go ahead and let you know my experience working with publishers and how I started working with them and how I've gotten free books from them, whether they are paperback physical copies or ebooks. Okay, so to start this off, I have to backtrack into my history. I have been blogging since 2011. It has been 8 years almost since I started my blog. It was right when I graduated from high school. It was that summer in between. I was a math education major going into college, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and then I started my blog, switched my major to English education before school even started to become an English teacher, because who wants to do math for the rest of their life? Not me. And so I started my blog, and I definitely did not get reviews right away. I built up my blog and my following. So I started writing reviews of all the library books I read because I was obsessed with my library. I would go every week. I would get all their new YA books. I was primarily YA back then. I would spend a lot of time commenting on other blogs, leaving my blog link. I took place in a lot of blog hops. So there was Stacking the Shelves, which was in my mailbox, and that was where you shared all the books you got that week, and so there was a link up, and so I would visit everyone's links and leave my own link until I finally started growing more followers. I don't remember what year I started getting books from, but I do remember I reached out to the publicity contact at Berkley for Samantha Young's series, the On Devil Tree series. It was one of my favorites. I had reviewed all of them in that series already. They have publicity contacts on their websites. If you Google Penguin, Random House, publicity contact, they will have a page of all their branches, I forget what they're called, of their publishing houses. So there's like, Berkley is a branch of Penguin, and there's like Random House Kids and a billion different branches, and so they have a publicity contact for each branch or house, whatever you call it, and in those emails I would say, hello, my name is Jessica, I'm from the blog Peace Out Books, here's my link, and then I would say my followers on all my platforms. And back then Instagram wasn't really, Bookstagram wasn't a thing, and so it was, I don't even know if I even had an Instagram then. I might have recently started an Instagram. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I would put all my stats, and I would say I loved Samantha Young's previous books in the series. Here are some of my reviews, and I talked personally about the book, and then I asked them if they had any copies available for review, left my address, said thank you so much for your time, and just sent it out. And so I did not do that a lot. I just didn't think of harassing publishers and sending out like email after email. So it was only a book that I was really interested in, and that had set me in the door with Berkley Romance. Then I got onto their publicity contact list. So every month I do get an email from them with the Google form of the books that I want to review for them that month. And so it did take me a while though to get into the door with publishers. I had to grow my following. I had to be consistent in what I was posting, and I had to interact with my followers. Now having multiple platforms does help, but I'm still denied. Like, I still can't get a Colleen Hoover arc to save my life. I only get the e-arcs, and they're like, sorry, all of our paperbacks are taken, like here's an e-arc for you, and I am never on their list. And it hurts my soul because I see people who don't even like her getting paperback arcs, and I'm just like, why do you send it to them when they hate every book she's written? And so it gets very frustrating. And I want to segue this into independently published authors. If you want to start out reviewing, a great way to do that is with independently published authors. If you follow, like I do for Candy Steiner, Elle Kennedy, Penelope Douglas, all of them, I follow them on social media. So I follow their Facebook page, I'm in their Facebook groups, and I follow them on Instagram. If they have a new release coming out, they will post the link to the ARC sign up. Now, you may not be picked, but put your name in there. You just have to enter like your blog link, your Facebook link, and I think that's it. And like if you've reviewed for them before, a link to a review you've done, and you might be picked or not. I mean, I've still been denied some of those as well. I don't think that there is a sure number of followers to have. I have 13,000 on here. I have 1,500 on my blog. I have almost 4,000 on my Instagram. I have about 2,000 on my Twitter, and still that's not enough for some people, or they don't look at everybody's followers because there's so many people submitting to these ARC signups that some people just aren't picked. And so yeah, it kind of hurts when I'm not picked because I'm like, do I really not have big enough of a following to be worth your time? But they have to be selective because they can't give it to everybody. I will say while I'm talking about this, please do not feel entitled. There has been a really bad rep for book bloggers and booktubers and bookstagrammers that some people feel like they are entitled to ARCs and get really angry when they're not sent them. They harass publishers to get sent to them, and they act like they're only in it for the ARCs. If you're in this community for the ARCs, stop. Like, you should not even waste your time, because like I said, I don't even get the ARCs I want. I still end up going out and buying books that I want to read because I want to support the author. If I don't get the ARC, I feel sad. I feel a little bit rejected, but I get over it. My next point is that if you go to different events like ALA, BEA, BookCon, those are great ways to get ARCs. I don't know if BookCon does. I've only personally been to ALA, and it's a bit crazy. I've heard BEA is worse. People go savage for ARCs. So be respectful. When I was at ALA, there was a blogger going around getting like 1 million copies of every book. They brought their daughter along and had their daughter get copies of every book that she got a copy of, and then she was selling them online. That's a big no-no. That causes publishers not to trust bloggers. And so I have seen a lot in the book community that has caused publishers to not trust bloggers anymore. Please don't be that person. Please do not make our work even harder to be respected, because a majority of us do put our heart and soul into this. We're doing it on our own free time. I blogged. I don't even remember, the only time I ever started making money was when I started doing YouTube from my ads. And it's not even that much. It's like chump change compared to what other people make. And we do so much publicity work for authors for free. And so we put a lot of hard work into it, but it's really sad when people take advantage and give us a bad name. So don't do that. But I think ALA was a blast. I had so much fun. I got so many ARCs. That's where I got my paperback ARC of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and that's how I got a publicity contact with them. And so going there and just giving your card out to people. I do have business cards for my blog, and socializing and making those contacts is amazing. And now I know not all of you can afford to go to ALA or BEA. They are in a lot of different states, and the tickets aren't that expensive, but it does take a while to like go to that state, get a hotel room, all that stuff. But that is a great way to get connections in the door. The key to keeping those contacts is to review reliably. So if you do get a copy of a book from a publisher that you asked for, make sure you review it and send them an email saying, hey, thanks for sending me the book, here's a link to my review. That is the perfect way to keep them trusting you and have them keep on sending you books. Now, you are not obligated to review unsolicited books. I do get sent unsolicited books sometimes. The publishers do have my address now, and so that means that I did not ask for the book. I didn't know it was coming and it showed up. I am not obligated whatsoever to review that book. But if they email me saying, hey, we have this new book in, are you interested? Let me know, I'll send you a copy. If I say yes, I better darn well review that book. Now, does it happen all the time? No, I do not get around to reviewing every single book I accept. It's okay, but as long as I try to get to a majority of them, it'll help me have a better relationship with those publishers. Now, a good way, I think all of you probably know, to get eARCs is through NetGalley and building up your credibility on NetGalley. They do have you submit your reviews. It's an ebook review site where you get eARCs, and it's just like with a click of a button, you ask to review it, and they look at your profile and see if you have a ratio of reviewed and not reviewed, and they'll give it to you. So like a lot of popular books are on there, and you might get an eARC. So I know Berkeley's does go on there as well, so if you want to review for Berkeley, go on NetGalley and review some of their books. That's a great way, but it's not as satisfying as getting a physical copy of the book you really want. So I know it's not what some people prefer, but it is a great way to get to read books and review them for publishers before they release. If you want a publisher to notice you and maybe reach out to you first, that recently happened with me with William & Morrow. I've never worked with them before, but they did contact me to review 99% Mine by Sally Thorne, and I was blown out of the water and super excited because they found my YouTube channel and they saw, I don't know if they saw my most anticipated romances of the year video because I did talk about it in that video, but they noticed that I had a pretty decent following and asked if I wanted to review the book, and I said heck yes, and now I've been in contact with some of Harper's publishers because that is a branch of Harper, and I've been getting a couple more books from them. If you're on Instagram, make sure you tag them. If you are really into their books, tag them and constantly tag them if you are posting their book, and so they might repost your picture, they might reach out to you and say, hey, would you like to review a new copy of this author's book, and they would be the ones approaching you, and that's the best way to take the not aggressive stance on this and just wait for authors to reach out to you. I won't say it's automatically going to happen, but the more you interact with publishers and even independent authors on a platform, the more willing they are to add you to their review team. I know that for independently published authors like Charlie Rose, Gianna Darling, Candy Steiner, like my favorites ever, I talk about their books constantly. I'm interacting with them all the time. I feel like I know them even though I've never met them, and I'm just like a fangirl of their books. I tag them all the time. I comment on things all the time. I'll comment on their stories, and now I almost always get their arcs, and they know who I am, and so they know they want me to have their arc because they know what platforms I'm on, they know I love their books, and they know I wholeheartedly support them. And so supporting authors, especially independent authors, it'll be really easy to get in with their e-arc teams because you show how dedicated you are to them. So it's a great way to get in with independently published authors with their e-arcs. Most of them do not send paperback arcs because those are really expensive and they are paying it for all themselves. They don't have like a marketing department that has money for them. They're solo. So great way to get on the independent author train. And that's all I have for you. Like I said, I feel like I don't get like a lot of books sent to me, but if I am like super excited about something, like with A Bride Test by Helen Wong, I saw arcs were going out and I was freaking out, so I tweeted at Berkeley and I was like, hoping my arc comes in the mail, maybe. And I had like a fun picture with like fingers crossed, and they tweeted back saying like, check your mailbox. And so like just like having that positive interaction with publishers makes them trust you so much more, and showing them that you are very appreciative and actually working for them. So if you take on an arc, you better be prepared to do the work for it. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't feel like you are entitled to it, and don't give a bad name to bloggers and booktubers, because that makes me really sad when someone thinks that they deserve everything and get mad when they aren't, or start acting not nice. So that's all I have for you. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this, or if you have any advice yourself to add. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.